Stand back, guys, stand back.
Right now at 11, recorded on body cam as an alleged drunk driver in Milwaukee slams into a patrol car. Plus, did Oregon high schools make the grade? How 2023 graduation rates stack up to years past. And unsafe for firefighters, the invisible gas that forced a Gresham station to shut down. And first at 11, let's get right to breaking news and the search for a robbery suspect in southeast Portland. This is in the Powellhurst-Gilbert neighborhood where residents along Powell and Kelly Streets between 122nd and 124th were told to shelter in place for several hours this evening. That is as police search for an armed suspect they say robbed a smoke shop at 123rd and Powell around 5. The shelter in place was lifted around 9 when police say they realized the suspect might not be in the area, and another man they had pursued, first by car then on foot, was likely not the same person. We'll update you as we learn more. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Molko. Call it way too close for comfort as a driver allegedly under the influence slammed into the back of a Milwaukee police patrol car. That driver is now under arrest, and tonight John Adams walks us through the frightening moments.
Stand back, guys, stand back.
I got you.
Whoa.
Body camera video shows Milwaukee police officers and a suspect in custody just feet away from being hit by a car. Police say the driver behind the wheel of a black Chevy Camaro was drunk and driving without lights on. We spoke with Officer Zane Odom with Milwaukee PD today.
They can wipe out any of us.
Who told us officers are putting themselves at risk when working on the side of a road.
And the car itself is that ballistic bullet, if you will. And especially for officers or construction workers standing out on the road, you know, they're prime suspects or prime targets for being struck and killed by these missiles.
The driver of that vehicle was transported to a local hospital where they were arrested by Clackamas County deputies and charged with DUII. Officer Odom told us the incident could have been much worse if one of their officers hadn't noticed the approaching car.
Step back.
He basically saved people's lives that night by telling them to get out of the way. And the patrol car ended up where the officers were standing.
This is just the latest example of a civilian vehicle hitting a patrol car. Just hours before the incident in Milwaukee, a pulled-over Portland police vehicle was hit by a driver on I-205, sending 2 PPB officers and the driver who hit them to the hospital. And earlier this week, 6 Washington Department of Transportation workers in Vancouver were hospitalized when their pulled-over vehicle was hit by a suspected drunk driver going 60 miles per hour.
Step back.
These incidents serve as a reminder of just how dangerous it can be to work in close proximity to distracted or impaired drivers, a threat that is always back of mind for officers when they are out on the job.
What I say every day when I leave my house is I tell my wife I love her. And if that's the last time, then that's the last time, and she'll know, and my family will know. But that's what we do. We prepare for the worst and hope for the best.
John Adams reporting tonight. Officers say anyone who spots an impaired driver should call 911. That is the #1 way they get dangerous drivers off the roads. New tonight, friends and family gathered in southeast Portland to remember a man whose death remains a mystery 5 years on. 25-year-old Cody Denny was found along 92nd near Knapp Street on this day in 2019. He was walking home from a friend's house when he was brutally beaten. Denny died from his injuries weeks later. Tonight, we talked to his mother, who is hoping someone watching has answers.
Why? Why would you take a life like that? Why are you that screwed up in the mind that you just attack people and take him away from all of us? I don't think I'm ever going to have closure. I'm trying my best to move forward, but it's going to be difficult for the rest of my life.
All right, Denny never regained consciousness and so could not help police identify whoever caused his injuries. His mother is begging that anyone with information contact police. New at 11, a handful of Gresham firefighters have had to move to other stations after tests showed elevated levels of an odorless and colorless gas inside one of their firehouses. Alma McCarty is in the newsroom with those details. Alma?
Well, David, we are talking about radon, which comes out of the ground from rocks and soil. And tests done earlier this month at one station in Troutdale show levels inside of the building are well above what the EPA considers the cutoff point.
Gresham firefighters from Station 75 moved out of this building Thursday.
The results came in and they were found out this morning. After that, all the wheels went in motion to get our firefighters out of that facility so they're safe.
Those results? Elevated levels of radon, a colorless and odorless gas at the Troutdale firehouse. According to documents received by KGW, tests that were part of a bigger picture to look at Gresham fire stations found the radon level was 13.7. Experts say anything above a 4 raises red flags. Here's Kevin Larson, union president for Gresham firefighters.
I was very surprised when I heard that, and then obviously as we Googled and tried to figure out what this means to the people that are working in the facility, eyebrows started getting raised and like, what are we doing here?
Now crews are moving to other stations, likely for a week or two, while the city works to improve ventilation.
It is a health issue.
Charles Lewis, a certified master inspector for nonprofit home inspections, frequently tests for radon. He explains over time, months or years, exposure to radon, which occurs naturally in rocks and soil, can be dangerous, especially for firefighters.
If you are a smoker and exposed to radon, your risk of lung cancer is much higher. So you can imagine with a firefighter who's exposed to all kinds of contaminants, while working to protect us, that then they come back to the station and get exposed to radon. It's unconscionable.
We can stop this now. The benefit is that we found it. Let's stop it and let's make our facility safe.
The city is currently working on evaluating all of the fire stations. There's 6 total, 4 in Gresham specifically. And on Tuesday, City Council directed more than $1 million to ensuring that each station is safe. As for Station 75, they'll conduct a second test to verify those elevated levels of radon and figure out where to go from there. David?
Thank you, Alma. Appreciate you reporting tonight. Let's get you caught up on tonight's other headlines. The driver who allegedly hit and killed a bicyclist from Portland last June in Polk County has now been charged with criminally negligent homicide. A grand jury returned the indictment last month. Adam Joy and his 15-year-old son were cycling along Highway 221 outside of McMinnville when authorities say Joy was run over from behind by a pickup driven by Robert Weeks. The initial police report said Joy fell in front of Weeks' pickup as he slowed and tried to pass. Now, Joy's family disputes that account. Weeks is due in court in late March. A warning tonight from the Marion County Sheriff's Office. Phone scammers are impersonating law enforcement officers, saying they're collecting traffic fines. We've seen these sorts of schemes before, right? But in this case, the Sheriff's Office says the scammers demand payment over the phone and threaten people with a warrant if they don't pay up. Officials want to remind people that real law enforcement will never contact you like this. And Portland City Commissioner Dan Ryan says he is running for one of 12 seats on the new city council. He made the announcement today during Straight Talk with Laurel Porter. Ryan lives in North Portland, so if elected, he'd be representing the brand new District 2. Ryan's fellow commissioners Mingus Mapps, Renee Gonzalez, and Carmen Rubio say they are all running for mayor. Straight ahead at 11, a big tech business says it is now leaving the Rose City for the suburbs. Plus, another pathway into the classroom, the local program that hopes to help more people become teachers.
And we have some heavy rain showers headed our way. Look off the coast right here. In just a few hours, going to be over western Oregon into southwest Washington. We're expecting this to carry all the way through into Sunday morning, possibly 2 inches of rain in the metro area. And we do have a ski report for you this Thursday night. Take a look.